Hello, what is going on, guys? Hockey Guy 1 here. Welcome to my review of Shazam. So Shazam is directed by David Sandberg and stars Zachary Levi, Asher Angel, Mark Strong, Jack Dylan Grazer, Dylan Housen, Faith Herman, Grace Fulton, and Ian Shen. So the story is about this guy named Thaddeus Savannah who kind of gets rejected by the wizard, and then like about 50 years later he wants to take revenge on it and steals stuff, harness him from the rocks and becomes the master of the sins and lets them free. And then the wizard has chosen Billy Batson to go out and stop him, from taking over her and stopping the sins. And yeah, that's basically the story. So the story, I feel like, is done very well. It's very well paced throughout all three acts. They all connect very, very well to each other. The story's not really all over the place. It feels in one. It even sends a pretty good family message, and the story is done very well overall, and I don't think it could have been done much better. The character development for Billy Batson, as well as his Shazam counterpart, are done very well, especially for his Billy Batson part. Like, Billy Batson's development and with appreciating his family is done very well, and I like how it's kind of developed his birth. He's kind of selfish, just did things because he knew he was a star now. And he developed his about family first, and has done very well, and I'm glad the way it did it. So I feel like Freddy was done better than any of the other brothers and sisters for him, because his development is definitely more in there than the other ones, and as he is kind of like the best buds with him, and development with him and trying to teach him his powers is done very well, and as well how he's a nerd character that's a very good way to put his character in. It's a very good character development for him, and a very well written character overall. This movie mixes in humor and action very well. Like they put the jokes at the perfect times, and it's not just ridiculous, over the top and stupid, kind of putting it in at random action scenes or just like a serious moment. They actually put it in at the right times, and that's what makes them hit. And the humor as well, just pretty funny for the most part. Like in the climax, they were kind of Savannah was kind of having his villain speech, and they were like a mile apart, and that was kind of a funny joke. Again, is good, perfectly put in there. I mean, I think that doesn't really seem like it be perfectly put in there, but it ends up being perfectly put in there, and was well done. So just about every actor in this movie does fantastic. I mean, especially Zachary Levi. Like, wow. I mean, his performance was amazing. I honestly don't think it could have been any better of a casting choice. So I don't think anyone else could have been Shazam over him. And he just did fantastic. And as he is kind of very well with the acting, being inside the character, showing the emotion that matches the character, and just matching the characters throughout, and is done very well. So the visuals I felt were fantastic, like the CGI on the lightning whenever they say Shazam and go into the costume. It was done very well, and very well edited by the visual effects team, and I was really impressive with how well it was done. and how realistic the lightning looks when it's put down. I mean, that's what makes CGI great, and it was really good. So the action scenes were epic, especially the scene where Shazam goes up and starts to fly, fighting Thaddeus. And it was done in a very well done action scene that has legit stakes to it, and it's just a really good action scene for it, and was done very well, choreographed, and a very good action scene to watch where he fights and is done well. As well as the climax scene, especially where something happens I don't really want to spoil, and fights off the sins, and as well as Thaddeus. It was a really fun action scene, and it was done very well, and I don't think it could have really been any better. It was just very well choreographed. The stakes are very high, and it was a really fun action scene to sit through. The costume design on Shazam was done pretty good. But I mean, it's the kind of the costume, and it looks really good on screen. I'm good about that. It just looks really good, and couldn't have really been done that much better. And the costume designers did a really good job designing it. With that said, I do have a few negatives, like Thaddeus Savannah is just another weak villain in the entry of the DCEU. They have yet to have a good villain, in my opinion, so far, and he's not an exception. I mean, he's probably the best one because he has the best development of each of them, because he at least has a motivation that makes a bit more sense than the others, but still, it's pretty generic, but despite the decent motivation, it's very generic. His motivation is about something that happened in the past, and that's been done in like many times in modern action movies, and honestly at this point I'm pretty tired of it, because it's just a generic villain development that's been done many times before. I feel like the other family members other than Billy and Freddy should have been more fleshed out. I mean, they're decent characters, but I don't really feel like they were fleshed out enough. Like they seem to focus more on Freddy and Billy, and doesn't really give the others much else of development and until the climax. And I wish they kind of fleshed them out a bit more. So overall, Shazam is a great movie, and the second DCEU movie that was actually good. And I'm going to give Shazam an 8.5 out of 10. That was my review of Shazam. What are your thoughts on Shazam? Tell me in the comments below, and I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.